Today we're going to look at solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. All right, so review the standards here, and here is the success criteria. Apply the addition and subtraction properties of inequality to produce equivalent inequalities. Solve inequalities using addition and subtraction, and use inequalities to model real life. Vocabulary that you need to know: equivalent inequalities. Equivalent inequalities is just like it sounds. They're inequalities that have the same solution. Okay, they're equivalent. They have the same solution. All right, your key ideas: addition property. All right, addition property says you add the same thing to both sides of the inequality, similar to an equation. And addition property, the inequality stays the same. Okay. So you're going to see when we get to multiplication and division, it changes. But for addition, you add the same number to both sides. The inequalities just come down exactly the way they are. Subtraction property, same thing. All right, we add the same number to both sides of the inequality sign and bring the inequality down. All right, let's look at a couple examples. Solving inequalities using addition. All right, so solve x minus 6 greater than or equal to negative 10, and then graph the solution. All right, so we're trying to get the variable by itself, just like with the equation. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Negative 6 plus 6 cancel, so bring down my x, bring down my greater than or equal sign, and then negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. All right, if I want to graph the solution, okay, my numbers are not quite spaced out equally. I apologize for that. So x is greater than or equal to negative 4. This means I'm going to have a solid circle at negative 4. And then greater than or equal to, I'm going to be shading to the right. Greater than negative 4. All right, number 2 says solve the inequality, graph the solution. 0.07 is less than or equal to negative 4.05. So I'm going to add 4.05 to both sides. All right, so I've got 4.05 plus 0.07. That should be 4.12. Okay, it is. So I've got 4.12 is less than or equal to z. All right, remember I need to graph the solution. So I've got 4.12 less than or equal to z. If you want to, you can put this variable on the left side. So it would be z greater than 4.12. And then it makes it a little bit easier to see. So if I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative 1, 2, I'll put some negatives as well. 4.12, would be just slightly past 4. So let's include a little bit further here. Kind of running out of room, but we'll make room. All right, 4.12 would be slightly past 4. We're going to make a solid circle there because it's greater than or equal to. And again, it's going to be shaded and your arrow is going to go to the right. All right, example 3, we're going to solve using subtraction. So it says solve each inequality, graph each solution. So very similar to the last ones, except now we're going to subtract.
So A part says y plus 8 less than or equal to 5. So we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So we're going to have y, bring down our less than or equal to. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. All right, now it says to graph. So remember, with the inequality, you have multiple solutions. And the graph shows all the possible solutions. All right, less than or equal to negative 3. So I'm going to have a solid circle again on negative 3. Less than means all numbers that are less than negative 3. So negative 4, negative 5, and so on are all less than negative 3. So you're going to shade to the left with an arrow. All right. B part says negative 8 less than 1.4. So I'm going to subtract 1.4 from both sides. Negative 8 minus 1.4 will be negative 9.4. Bring down my less than and bring down my variable because the 1.4's cancel on the right. It says solve and it says graph. So again, I'm going to switch my variable to the left. It just makes it easier to see that m is greater than. That way it helps you shade in the right direction. All right, so I'm going to have a graph here. I'm going to have 0. Let's go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so that's the positive side. I need to go to the negative side. And once again, I have not made my graph big enough, so let's extend my graph a little bit further here. Negative 10. And we know that negative 9 would be halfway between negative 8 and 10, and negative 9.4 would be almost halfway between that. So right in here, we need an open circle. This time it's just greater than, not greater than or equal to. So it's an open circle. And we're going to shade everything larger than negative 9.4. All right, example 4, modeling real life. A circuit overloads at 1800 watts of electricity. You plug an amplifier that uses 900 watts of electricity into the circuit. In addition to the amplifier, which of the following equipment can you plug into the circuit at the same time without overloading the circuit? All right, so the first thing we want to do is understand the problem. We're trying to figure out which of these pieces of equipment that we can plug in and not overload the circuit. Okay, so let's first set up an inequality and solve it to see how many amps we have left or how much electricity we have left. So we're going to set this up. It says a circuit overloads at 1800 watts. So we know that we have to have less than 1800 watts. All right, you plug in an amplifier that uses 900 watts, so we're already using 900 watts, plus so many more watts, we're not sure. All right, so what we can do is first subtract 900 watts from both sides because we're already using that with the amplifier. So that means we have to have less than 1800 minus 900 is 900. So we have to have total watts that are less than 900, okay? So if you look at this, you could have less than 900, you could have 600 and 200 is less than 900, it's only 800. So you could have lighting and TV, okay? That's on top of the amplifier that you're already using. All right, what else could you use?
You could have one of the fog machines, either one, they're the same amount of watts, one of the fog machines in the TV. So let's do fog machine and TV. Or you could do any individual or any individual piece of equipment. All right, so let's go back and read the question, make sure that we've covered everything. All right, it says, in addition to the amplifier, we know the amplifier, 900 watts, which of the following equipment can you plug into the circuit at the same time without overloading? All right, so the lighting plus TV is 800. 800 plus 900 would be 1700, so that is less than 1800, so that one checks out for sure. A fog machine and TV. A fog machine is 450, TV is 200, that's 650. 650 plus 900 is 1550, that is less than 800, so that one will work for sure. And then any individual piece of equipment plus 900 is also less than 1800, so those are all your options in order to make that work without overloading the circuit. All right, the last question here, it's a self-assessment, so you should take a few moments and to try to do this on your own, and then come back and we will work it together. All right, the problem says the capacity of a flash drive is shown in the diagram. You copy 2 files to the flash drive, one of which is 1.92 gigabytes, the other is 3.4 gigabytes. Which of the following folders can you also copy to the flash drive? All right, so given information, you have used space, 19.9 gigabytes you're already using. So you have 12.1 gigabytes of free space. And you're going to copy these 2 folders. And then what else can you copy? All right, pause the video and then come back shortly to see if you get the same answer. All right, hopefully you took a few moments to set this up and work it. So you can see that they copied 2 files, 1.92 and 3.4. So you have unknown number of gigs left plus the 2 files, and all of that has to be less than or equal to the amount of free space that you have. So you have 12.1 gigabytes of free space on this flash drive. All right, so if you subtract the 2 numbers for the 2 files that you are already going to put on the flash drive, that leaves you with 6.78. So you have to download 6.78 gigabytes or less. All right, so if you look here, this one's 1.81, this one's 5.2, 2.84. So if you do 6.78 minus 5.2, that's your largest one, it only leaves 1.58. So you cannot combine photos with anything else. So you can download these 2 files and your photos, or you can download these 2 files with miscellaneous and music. So right here you can see that that's what I put. So to check this, you could take 5.2. Let's go ahead and do that. 5.2 plus 1.92 plus 3.4. Is that less than or equal to? All right, so that is 10.52, which is less than or equal to the 12.1. So this one checks out, which we knew it would, but it's good to check it. And your music and miscellaneous, check it as